Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, Elle's Temple. My name is Elle. I'm a goddess guide and tarot reader, and today I am so excited to be bringing you a very empowering reading called Leap Forward in Courage, a pep talk from the goddesses. So today we have three beautiful goddesses here today. I've already pre-shuffled your piles, so let's get straight into introducing each of the piles. So if you are drawn to the beautiful pile number one, Kuan Yin is going to be your goddess, and your keywords are kindness and nurturing. And your crystal is the beautiful flower blossom agate. So if you're drawn to this beautiful crystal, then you will be pile number one. Okay, if you are drawn to Inanna, believe in yourself, you will be pile number two. And the crystal is this gorgeous sodalite crystal. So if you're drawn to this beautiful sodalite, then you will be pile number two. Okay, and if you are drawn, last but not least, to the beautiful Amaterasu, no more hiding, and your crystal is the labradorite ball here. So if you're drawn to this one, then you will be pile number three. Okay, my loves, so take a moment to tune into your intuition and see which of the three piles draws you in. And pause the video if you need to. And if you are drawn to more than one pile, just trust that there may be messages from across the piles that you need to kind of mesh together to create your reading, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your pile. Hi there, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. So if you have chosen the gorgeous Kuan Yin with the keywords kindness and nurturing, this is going to be your reading about leaping forward in courage. Now, this pile is a little bit unusual in that compared with the other two piles, this pile is very much about not so much leaping forward in that kind of traditional sense of like, okay, I've got to go out there, I've got to make something happen, I've got to kind of put one foot in front of the other and like do and like get to my goals and kind of achieve something. It's kind of almost the opposite. With Kuan Yin, I'm feeling like for many of you in pile one, you're already able to do that energy. You've already, in a sense, mastered that kind of masculine energy, that doing energy, that kind of striving energy, if you like. And what you're being asked to leap forward with, in a way, is kind of contradictory, because it's almost like less about leaping and more about allowing yourself to shift into like feminine energy and connecting with that feminine side of yourself. Because with both Kuan Yin and the flower agate, the flower blossom agate, this crystal as well is all about nurturing. It's all about receiving. It's all about tapping into like your heart energy, feeling love and compassion for yourself and others. So it's kind of an unusual goddess in a way to get. In fact, when I first got Kuan Yin out, because I was expecting sort of perhaps more action-taking goddesses or more sort of active goddesses, I was a bit surprised, and I reshuffled the cards and she came out again. And it was really proof of the fact that like, no, there is something to be said for like, sometimes it actually does require a lot of courage, right, to go into our vulnerable parts, to go into those parts of ourselves that are the feminine, that are desiring to be like receiving things and nurturing and feeling self-love and compassion and connecting with that sort of intuitive, perhaps maternal side of ourselves. There's very much a shift around embracing that feminine energy, but kind of in a very mature way, like sort of up leveling into being able to like mother yourself, is what I'm hearing. So maybe for some of you, you might have experienced mother wounds when you were a child or something like that. And you haven't really had, what I'm getting is like, you haven't really had a strong feminine role model in your life. Or for some of you, you may identify as male. It's not really about gender, but it's more to do with the energy of like, you've been very much operating from a masculine place, or from sort of like the expectations that are placed perhaps on say men in society. So some of you here may be men, or you may be a woman or identifying in some other way but operating from a masculine energy, where you've felt like you needed to be responsible for like providing and kind of doing the logical things, and like doing the sort of linear things in life, if you like maybe some of you have been conditioned into, perhaps a certain career path where you've had to really perhaps sacrifice some of your more your emotional side or your creative side and stifle that a little bit, or stifle your own needs or your own, like your own emotional self, your own, like your own inner child. I'm seeing this kind of, I'm tapping into someone's inner child who is very sad and hasn't been really nurtured. It's like maybe some of you were neglected when you were children. I'm so sorry if you have been. But Kuan Yin will be a very beautiful goddess to connect to help find that like nurturing inside of you and remother yourself or reparent yourself. Particularly for those of you who maybe, if you've been drawn to this pile, one of the things you may be shifting into is becoming a parent or becoming a mother or a father. Or you might be adopting or fostering or something like that, or even just like going into a role where you have to be very caring of perhaps other people's children, or showing care perhaps to animals or something like that, or maybe that's a deep desire to go into a role like that. But there's generally just this need to kind of shift from a more practical, pragmatic, this is what I've got to do, I've got to sort of pay the bills and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine, and there's something to be said for that, of course, and you've got to put food on the table and everything. We're not saying that, but there perhaps along the way has been a neglecting of the feminine within, of that nurturing self, of that part of you that needs to receive, that's open to receiving love from others, that's open to receiving care. Particularly I'm getting, again, for those of you that might be stepping into being a parent, it's quite necessary as you go into that to heal that part of yourself and really care for your own self, so that you're then able to like fill your own cup up, feel really fulfilled, feel really emotionally good about yourself, feel really, show yourself kindness, show yourself compassion, show yourself self-care. And then from a full cup, you're then able to give to others, because you're fulfilling yourself in a sense, or you're giving yourself the love that maybe wasn't given to you, and then you're able to give that love out without being resentful or without getting depleted, is what I'm hearing. Because sometimes if you're sort of in a place where you're trying really hard to do everything for everyone and you're getting a bit burnt out, that can create resentment, right? So that's the channel messages from Kuan Yin. So let's move into the guided messages that we got from your oracle card. So to begin with, we've got Numite and Black Dahlia, the void, ego shattering, soul fragments, and emptying. So I feel like with this is kind of about, maybe for those of you maybe who are drawn to doing a little bit of shadow work, or just healing and releasing any kind of traumatic parts of your past, that might be that where parts of you might have been fragmented off from your true self, like maybe in your childhood you like I mentioned, some of you might have been neglected or abandoned or something like that. So there might be some parts of you that have sort of split off from your soul in order to kind of protect yourself, or especially if you were in a I'm hearing like dysfunctional environment or chaotic environment, or like around people who are maybe addicts, or sort of any kind of energy like that, where you had to kind of almost like shut yourself off and go into like a little void in a way to kind of protect yourself. There's something around letting and emptying that out, like anything that any sort of resentment against these people or your carers or people in your life that might have abandoned you or neglected you or something. If you're sort of still holding on to that within you, there's a need just to like let that go, to let it go into the void, like sort of surrender it and offer it up to spirit. And you can certainly connect with Kuan Yin to help you do that, because it may be quite difficult to find forgiveness, and you maybe don't necessarily need to get to that place just yet, but just notice where there might be something that's blocking you. They're just guiding me, one moment, they're guiding me to the guidebook for this particular card, because I think, did I bookmark this for you? Yes, I did. Okay. So, yeah, interesting. Speaking about the mother, we've got the void as the cosmic mother's womb, a limitless black vortex of nothingness where everything is stripped back, the ego shatters and transformation takes place. It challenges you to empty yourself to open a sacred space within. Here, deep wisdom can enter and questions are answered. And it's talking about a lot to do with yeah, it is a time to focus on revisiting past hurts through the Akashic field. Numa is this journey stone that wishes to empower, to steer your focus to retrieving soul fragments to help you integrate back for completion of healing. And as it transports you, it holds a strong electromagnetic field around you, strengthening your auric shield against negative energy manipulations and environmental pollutants. So Numite might be a useful crystal for you as you do this healing work, for those of you who are drawn to doing that. So I think that especially if you are about to become a parent or about to shift into something where you have to use your feminine energy as opposed to your masculine energy a lot more, like that caring, kind, nurturing energy, in order to really tap into that powerfully and leap forward with that. And it may be that you've got some fears around this, which is why you're drawn to this reading about having the courage to do that, right? It may be that there's a need to kind of release some of these past hurts before you can really strongly go forward and be able to give and receive love. And I'm also getting, for some of you, this may be going into a relationship as well. Maybe some of you have had some issues with intimacy in the past, and that can feel very vulnerable for you because there's been some past hurts and past traumas with relationships. Probably because of something that's happened in childhood, you've attracted, that pattern within you has attracted that type of connection. So it'll be different for all of you, but just, trust that if you're drawn to this reading, there's some kind of shift and transformation. There's something around releasing something, healing these past hurts so that you can move forward with courage, with being able to care, with being able to use your feminine energy, and feminine, like I don't know if I explained this at the beginning, but divine feminine energy is available to all of us. It's not to do with gender, so it doesn't matter how you identify. Like I said, there might be men drawn to this reading, or however you identify, you can still tap in to that nurturing energy, that divine feminine energy within you. Okay, so next up we have the Queen. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly kind of saying what with the Kuan Yin and the feminine, and also we talked about the cosmic mother with the Black Dahlia. It's the same kind of energy with the Queen. It's really tapping into that maternal archetype, or that feminine archetype, that sovereign feminine archetype, but also ensuring with this particular card, this particular archetype, it's ensuring that you're not operating out of a negative feminine ego place, so like a distorted feminine place. It's ensuring that you're operating from like a soulful feminine place, or like a nurturing, receptive, being able to live out your ideals from like the highest possible place. And to really I'm just being drawn to the fact that there's like a lotus flower at the bottom here, with a little pearl inside, so it's like kind of really live from a place of, like with the pearl, it's like enlightenment, and the lotus is like, having gone through those muddy waters, it's grown above the surface into this beautiful lotus. So it's like you might have gone through difficult things in your childhood, and you've really grown from those, and in the end you've really blossomed like this beautiful lotus here, into your full self, your fully like enlightened self, your enlightened divine feminine self, and you're operating from that like higher feminine plane. So again, I'm getting the fact that maybe some of you had a negative or distorted feminine presence in your upbringing, and it's not to place blame, because many times with if someone's operating from their energy, it's because that's what they've been taught, right? That's how they've been conditioned. So it's not to kind of go, okay, well, let's just outsource the blame to them. Let's just place all the complete responsibility and just, not take responsibility for our healing and just say, look, it was my mum's fault, or, this person who raised me, it was their fault. It's not about that. It's about just recognizing that person was also wounded. They probably also had a distorted feminine, as many in the collective have, right? It is very much a collective energy, and many of us on the planet here right now are here to heal and shift that as we bring awareness to these distorted patterns. So perhaps some of you did have a queen or a mother or maternal energy in your life, a feminine energy in your life that was distorted. Now, again, this could have also then represented itself or manifested itself in relationships as well. So it may not even be just from childhood. It may have then played out. Some of you might have gone into a partnership where you had a distorted feminine, or you even were embodying a distorted feminine energy because you had had that mirrored to you in childhood. So I'm getting a vibe of perhaps someone whose parents, or particularly the feminine presence in their life, may have neglected them, or may have just not really been able to give them the nurturing that they desired, and it may be that they tried to and they thought they were, but it just missed the mark, and it just ended up being a little bit distorted because what they learned, what they were conditioned, was also distorted. And so they tried to nurture, but it came from perhaps a manipulative place, or it came from a place of like they kind of wanted you to do something that looked a certain way, or they wanted you to fulfill some kind of career, or they sort of maybe did something that pushed you to end up operating in more of a masculine energy, where maybe you looked at the feminine presence in your life and you were like, ugh, like, I don't like the way they act. I don't like, I don't feel any sense of real nurturance or kindness or compassion from them. So like, I'm just going to go out in the world like really tough and really boundaried and like operate from this really masculine place of like, I get stuff done and like I push myself and I strive to do things, and I'm really competitive with people. And you may sometimes find that you get into a little bit of almost like antagonistic energy, or like just like needing, maybe just being a little bit hard on yourself or something. And very much you're being called to like heal that wound and show yourself kindness and nurturing and be receptive to some like sweet energy. I just very much, when I tune into your energy, pile one, and when I was meditating on your energy before I started the reading, it was like the energy I got was like, go easy on pile one, because it's like there's this tiny hurt small child within you that's been a bit neglected and hasn't really seen any love since. And so that's why Kuan Yin's coming in so sort of fiercely and compassionately to help protect your inner child. And I'm being drawn back to this crystal again. Your guides want me to say, if you can get hold of this flower agate or flower blossom agate crystal, this will be really useful for helping you tap into that feminine energy, that maternal energy. You don't have to get a pointy one like this. You can just get a small, I love to get like the little what are they called, tumble stones, and you can put them, if you wear a bra, you can put them inside your bra or have them in your jeans pocket, or wherever, and keep them close to you, and that can really help carry that energy with you throughout the day, because that particular crystal is very, very powerful for helping you just surrender to a more feminine, softer, receptive, self-nurturing, compassionate, show yourself some kindness, not be so hard on yourself, not push yourself quite so much, and show yourself the love and care and compassion that you just didn't receive as a child, and really be able to like regrow yourself up into this sovereign queen energy in its highest form, in its most evolved form. Like I said, with the pearl and the lotus, it's really about showing that enlightened side of the queen. So next we have Voyage. You already have all the answers, card number 34. So 34 might be significant. That in numerology adds up to the number 7, which is all about the crown chakra, which is about allowing like divine guidance to come through, which is very much, confirming this message of you already have all the answers. It's like if you're connected with your crown chakra, you're open to receiving the wisdom from your higher self. You're open to receiving guidance of where you're meant to go. So some of you may be be at a bit of a crossroads or a bit unsure about where you want to go. We see this woman here looking at a map. So maybe some of you are like thinking of going overseas or moving, or you're moving away from your family home or something like that. With the number 34 as well, I'm getting some of you may be in your early 30s. You may be going through a bit of a Saturn return if you are somewhere between 31 to 33, 34 even, or you may have just gone through a Saturn return. That won't be for all of you, but there may have been a big shift, or there's been a big sort of change or upheaval in your life where you're shifting out of being in a more perhaps linear type trajectory and shifting into a more feminine trajectory where you're listening to your intuition, you're listening to the answers within, you're trying to go within and see where you're being guided. So that's, yeah, really beautiful energy to be in. And then we have, yes, forgiveness. So this I think comes back to what I was saying about, you know, what might have happened to you as a child, or maybe what's happened to you in relationships. And we see this woman, she's like throwing her hands up in the air, like releasing and surrendering everything to the divine feminine, which is represented by this crescent moon here. So there may be a ritual around forgiveness that could be quite useful for you. Like I said, it's important not to spiritually bypass and just not do the inner work of healing your inner child and retrieving those soul fragments that have been split off from when you were perhaps neglected or something, and just trying to jump straight to like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's fine, like, yeah, like I forgive them, like done. Okay, can we move on now, please? Can I have my enlightenment? Can I have my career path? Can I just know what my answer is of where I'm meant to go? And then, like, you know, sort of actively seeking lots of trying to seek lots of guidance outside of yourself of what you should do next. This is a very surrendered energy. You can see her arms are very soft, they're sort of up in the air. It's kind of like, okay, you know, goddess or spirit or higher self or universe or however you connect, show me what the next step is. Like, how can I forgive these people, or how can I forgive what happened? And also just to say that, like, you know, forgiveness is a process. It's a cyclical process. It's not a linear process. It's not like I do this 5-step thing and then boom, done, I've forgiven them, and then that's it, I don't need to think about it anymore. You know, it'll happen in stages, and sometimes you'll need to go deeper into it. There'll be a cycle where you might be pulled back into it, particularly if you go into a relationship, or particularly if you have children yourself or something like that, and some of these old wounds get re-triggered. And so there'll be a call to forgive even more deeply, which is why it's so important that you are able to like fill your own cup up, show yourself self-love, so that you're able to then compassionately forgive others, you know, come from a place of compassion to be able to forgive others eventually when you are ready. That's really, really important. Only when you're ready. And also just to say that you're doing the forgiveness process. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just getting through that. I'm hearing from someone's guide. Do the Ho'oponopono process. So you can look that up on the internet. It's very simple. It's just like 4 phrases. I haven't done it for a while myself, so I can't remember exactly. So I don't want to tell you and muck it up. So have a look online. Ho'oponopono. It's like something like I love you, I forgive you, thank you, I'm sorry, or something along those lines. But I think I got those 4 phrases confused. So have a look at that. And also just to say that sorry, I've just gone blank because I just channeled that and now I lost my train of thought where I was going before that. The forgiveness happens in stages. What else did I want to say about this? About forgiveness. Oh yeah. So you are forgiving for yourself, not for them to say. It's not to say like, okay, like, you know, what you did, all those things you did to me, especially if you were in a very chaotic and abusive environment, like, you know, there may have been violence or, you know, as a result of, say, addictions or something, or complete abandonment. And I'm so sorry if you have gone through that. You know, Kuan Yin is so here for you to tap into her energy to help, you know, really find the self-love and self-care to get through this process. And you really don't need to, it's not about forgiving them so that you can absolve them. That's the key message that they want me to bring through. It's not about absolution. It's not about absolving them. It's not about saying, hey, what you did was fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, yeah, we're cool. And also the other thing is boundaries. You don't have to let these people back in your life if you don't feel good about that. You can still go through a cycle of forgiveness and a cycle of releasing with that Black Dahlia card, and emptying these experiences out, healing them, letting them go, and finding forgiveness for your own self so that you can move forward with your life. It's like, I forgive you so that I don't have to carry this energy of anger and resentment and guilt and shame with me through the rest of my life. I want to go forward with this new transition, whether it's, like I said, some of you are becoming parents, maybe some of you are going into relationship, or some of you are just going through a transition where you're just shifting out of more masculine energy and starting to embrace a more feminine self, a more like self-nurturing self, a self that takes care of your joy, for example, and like what you might want to do and your passions and like hobbies that you haven't done for a really long time, and just anything like that. And it's like there's this need to forgive before you can really leap forward with courage with that next stage in your life. So forgiveness is really important. And I'm getting as well, with this going under the Queen, this may well be this disordered feminine person in your life that you're needing to forgive. And again, that they're wanting me to emphasize that person may have operated from that place because that is how they were conditioned, and they just didn't have the resources and the enlightenment available to them to do any better. It's like that quote, I can't remember who actually said this, but I think it may be used in AA or something. I'm not sure where it came from, but it goes something like, they did the best they could with what they had at the time. If that helps anyone to just find a little bit of forgiveness in order to, again, not absolve what they did, not say what they did was okay, acknowledge that it was painful and that it fragmented you, and there's parts of your true self that you need to reintegrate again together, and that's a difficult process, but that they did the best they could with what they had at the time, and it's important for you to release what happened so that you can move forward unencumbered, and so that you can find the answers in your life for where you want to go, and trust that like feminine self, that intuitive self. So next we have yes, this is confirming everything I've been saying. The Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. Yeah. And I feel like with this card as well, this is a very surrendered energy. You can see with the arms up, she's kind of worshipping the moon, right? Which is symbolic of the mother or symbolic of the feminine. So it's kind of really just emphasizing like, really, there's a need to surrender. It's kind of funny that this has come out because it's such an opposite energy to what you would expect for leap forward with courage, because traditionally we would associate that with kind of perhaps more masculine energy, right? But actually it requires so much more courage in some ways to surrender to the mystery, right? To surrender to that feminine side, because we want control as humans. We want to know what's going to happen, and like surrendering is freaking scary. It's so scary. It's the scariest thing ever. It's scarier than being like, okay, yeah, I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to go after it. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to do it. Like anyone can do that. I mean, to an extent, like to varying degrees, but like surrendering, getting in touch with an emotional self, clearing out and emptying pain and trauma from the past so that you can forgive and move forward with your life. That is like, oh my gosh, pile one, like this is why you're pile one, because you are doing the deep work. You are like, wow, like kudos to you, pile one, because it requires so much strength actually and so much courage to go into that place. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to surrender to the Great Mother. And like when you start this process of going down a spiritual journey, and you might very much be in a dark night of the soul at the moment with that Black Dahlia card. You might be in kind of a black period. But it is amazing what starts to happen when you connect with that feminine side of yourself. Like just a quick, to give you an example of my own story. I used to be in corporate for a really long time. And I very much resonate with a lot of the energy in this. Actually, I operated from a masculine place for most of my 30s, actually, until I was about 33, 34, I think, when I started a lot more getting into the divine feminine and goddess energy. I'd had a little bit of things before that. I've been doing a bit of yoga and having like other types of spiritual awakenings, but it was really around sort of about 33. So yeah, like seven, maybe 8 years ago now, I started having this like divine feminine awakening, or this feminine awakening, which was really tough. I'm not gonna lie, but also incredible and so beautiful, and it's connected me with the feminine side of myself that was really just missing from my life, because I was sort of operating from this masculine pace, and it's like there's an imbalance, right? So there's this need now, especially if you have some kind of mother wound or something, or a disordered feminine presence, or you've been operating only from your masculine side, to surrender to the great mother, to surrender to the goddess, to surrender to your divine feminine within, to connect with that energy. It is safe for you to fall into her arms, and she will cradle you. She will cradle you and nurture you and help you through this dark night of the soul, through this like emptying out of these painful memories and traumas, and finding that sovereignty within. So really, really beautiful, beautiful energy there. Also, I'm getting with rose and rose quartz here. That could be another crystal that could be really useful to you for those that like crystals. Sorry, the camera's wobbling a little bit. So yeah, especially actually, yeah, it's wobbling. If you're feeling a little bit wobbly, rose quartz could be really useful for you, because it just, again, it helps you connect with your heart chakra. It helps you feel nurtured. It helps you find self-love. I used a lot of rose quartz crystals in the early stages of my tapping into my feminine energy, and it's really healing and really nurturing, really beautiful. And also with the roses here, rose oil, rose essential oil may also be really useful. And we've got a rose candle burning here, so you can certainly connect in with that energy as well. So that may be helpful for some of you. And last but not least, yes, 29 power. Today I step into my power. Exactly. So that this is power, and it's about sometimes shifting our perceptions of what we see as powerful, because so often we can look at power as like taking power from others, or being like, you only have to watch any nature documentaries, right, to see how like the male of the species in even animal packs operates with conflict and like needing to, like I was just watching Our Wild Isles. I'm just thinking of that specifically, with like there were so many different packs of animals where like the males of the pack, like when they want a female, like one male will have like the dominance, right? He'll be like the dominant male, and then he's got the right to mate with all the females, and then like other males come along, and then this male's got to like defend his territory, and then they have this great fight, and then like that one takes over that one, and then this new male's like the powerful new lion, or whatever it is. Like it's not even lions, because there aren't lions in England. I don't even know why I said lion, but you get my point, hopefully. That was a really random example, but the idea is that like power can be this. Power can be kindness and nurturing, Sorry, I just spit on the card. Sorry. Power can be kindness and nurturing. Power can be being in your feminine. Power can be being receptive. Power can be filling your own cup up and giving it to others. Like it doesn't have to be this like, rah, rah, like I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to conquer whatever. Or I'm going to take power from others, or I'm going to like compete with others, or I'm going to like get to the top, or it can be that, but it's not to say like that's bad. It's just we need to find that balance, right? We need to find the balance within, and also within society. We need to find the balance of like kindness and caring are really important too, and surrender and forgiveness. There's all these other things that can constitute power. Like I said, it actually requires a lot more courage, a lot more strength to be able to tap into that, to be able to surrender and be able to tap into that like nurturing energy, especially if you haven't had it modeled to you, and especially if it doesn't feel safe because you've had some kind of distortion, which again is where the goddesses can be really, really powerful and potent and helpful for shifting that. So let's see, I've got some tarot cards, which we will go into next, and then we'll finish up with a crystal mandala card. So let's see, we have got, actually I'm gonna just move these out of the way. I might leave Kuan Yin here. Okay, so we have got temperance. Yeah, what was I just saying about balance? Exactly. Temperance is all about balance. It's all about, like, you know, healing. We've got this, like, these water jugs, and this particular figure here is exemplified by Coco Chanel. So the temperance figurine is in this particular deck, Modern Goddesses deck, Coco Chanel, and her designs were all about, like, liberating women so that they weren't wearing, like, big corsets and poofy clothes and stuff, and they were able to wear, like, sleek, chic, elegant things, but they were comfortable and they could still do work in and stuff like that. So it's very much about, like, balancing masculine, feminine energies, which is exactly what we've just been talking about. So yeah. And kind of going with the flow as well. I'm feeling with her, like, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the water. I feel like this is kind of saying, like, again, 1 foot doing the practical, the pragmatic, the putting the food on the table, the sort of perhaps quote unquote masculine side of things, the, like, linear, logical, like, yeah, well, we need to do this and this, versus, like, the emotional side, the intuitive side, the, you know, the water element side, with the going with the flow and with the, like, healing of emotions and feeling, you know, connecting with your receptive side. So there's that, finding that balance between those two parts of yourself. Let's see, we have got the star. Yeah, this is, again, we've got the water here, so the flow of water. The star can be all about healing, so there's very much healing that's coming to you. This is a very healing period, and we've got 2 major arcana cards here, so you are going through quite a big shift at the moment, quite a big, like, once in a lifetime thing with this finding balance and finding healing. But it's like, it's interesting, in this star card, she's pouring out 2 jugs of water. So it's like releasing. Again, I'm being drawn to, with that Numite and Black Dahlia card, the emptying. See, she's emptying these jugs here. There's an emptying of old traumas, of old pains, of old wounds that need to be released. There needs to be connection with your emotional side so that you can, like, cry it out. Like, I'm hearing that, like, cry your story out. I don't know who said that. I feel like there's a guy on YouTube who talks about that, and I can't remember his name, but if I remember, I'll put a link below to him. But yeah, crying your story out. So maybe some of you going to therapy could be helpful to tap into that energy, having some kind of somatic body work done, like somatic body release, trauma release, something like that. There's a need to, like, release the pent up trauma in tears and, like, let it go and connect with your emotional self. And that the more that you release what's holding you back, or release all these emotions, the more you can connect with where it's like as you release that, this person's got one eye on this telescope and they're connecting with, like, okay, yeah, like, I've just got to release this, and then I can, like, see exactly where I've got to go. And then we have 10 of Cups. Exactly, it's like this person's got an eye to the future of total emotional fulfillment and, like, happy family, happy, just general happiness within yourself, and, like, feeling really good within yourself, feeling really emotionally connected. This person's got a beautiful, like, soul family around them. It's like soul family vibes I'm getting. This looks almost more like a group of friends perhaps than necessarily a traditional family, which I really like in this deck, that there's you know, it's not traditional, like, sort of grandmother and grandfather and 3 kids. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes that isn't something that people want, or, you know, sometimes that traditional model isn't where you get your fulfillment or your happiness from. And actually just finding your soul family and connecting with your soul family is, you know, more emotionally fulfilling. And then we have 6 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Yeah, so I feel like you are really going to come to a point where you're able to fill your own cup up so much that you can give to others. It's like I'm getting a vibe of someone who, you might start a charity, or you might get to a point where you are so balanced in, like, physical resources as well as emotional resources that you can then give to others, like possibly giving maybe, like, counseling to others, or, like, some of you might be like fostering or adopting or like something like that, or like starting something where you support children who have been maybe abandoned or something. So there's something around like getting to a place where you're so fulfilled and so filled up, and you filled your own cup up so much that you can then be able to give your excess resources, whether that's time, energy, care, love, money, support, like mentoring of some sort. Maybe some of you might do something like mentoring children of alcoholic parents or something. I'm hearing that's very specific. That could be for like one of you, but it could be something like that, like giving resources and support to people who have gone through, come from sort of addictive backgrounds or something. And then last but not least, we've got the Chariot. Yeah, finally getting to a point where you can move forward. You can really go after what you want, after like your destiny. And with the Chariot, this is also all about, again, balancing the yin and yang side. It's always got like a black and a white line. It's always got that like shadow side and the light side. It's like now that you've integrated those parts that are in your shadow, you're able to like go towards the light now, because those parts aren't holding you back, because there's just this like little inner child within you that just wants to be heard and seen. So once you've been able to do that and heal all the emotions from that past, that isn't going to block you anymore from moving forward. And you're going to I'm being drawn back to this card. You're going to be able to like move forward in your life and know exactly where you're wanting to go. It's like the Chariot is also about like moving. It could be moving house, it could be traveling, but it's just generally moving forward, like shifting forward with your life. So you're going to have the courage to really shift forward, to move forward, to have all the answers for where you're trying to go, for what you want to achieve, once you've done this kind of healing work. So we're going to finish up with a Crystal Mandala Oracle, and the card we got for you is Goddess Hecate and Micah, Crossroad of Destiny. And I did say something about a crossroad at some point, I forget where, but also the Chariot can talk about being at a crossroads as well, because it can sometimes speak of being pulled between those yin and yang sides, or that between our like masculine feminine sides, or between our light and dark sides. And it's about integrating those two parts so that you can then move forward with them sort of integrated together, rather than letting the two bits like kind of pull you apart, sort of thing. So let's have a look. I'm going to read directly from the guidebook for this one, because this is, for those of you that aren't familiar, this is Alana Fairchild, and her cards and her books are just, they're just amazing. So this is going to be quite a long message. So I may read some of it and then just hold the rest up to the camera, because otherwise this reading is getting quite long. So I'll read the introduction and then hold the rest up. So here we go. Goddess Hecate, Crossroad of Destiny. We bring you the empowerment of the Crossroad of Destiny. You are at a pivotal point on your life journey. This may be obvious to you with a potentially life-changing decision before you, or you may not realize the impact that an apparently insignificant choice is going to have on your future. Either way, you are at a point where you can leave the past behind. What do we talk about leaving the past behind? Yep, exactly. That is all about that emptying out of past hurts. So leaving the past behind. Sorry, I lost my place. That's why I shouldn't interrupt. Leave the past behind and chart your course for a new adventurous chapter to begin in your life. This is not something to be frightened of. It is a sign you are progressing on your path. The crossroad of destiny happens when you have mastered a cycle in your life and a new cycle is before you. It is an opportunity that you can take best advantage of by listening to your heart. That is so beautiful. So I'm going to hold up the rest of the message, and you can read it in your own time if you want to, because as you can see, it's like 3 pages long, and there's also a healing process. I'm just going to actually read this bit out, because this is interesting. It's talking about what I was saying about the masculine and feminine side. So although you can rely on logic and analysis, and perhaps you wish to start there if you are so inclined, it is through listening to your heart, the inner knowing and voice of intuition within, that will bring you the most joyful experience. You can either play it safe or play it true. The heart will guide you to truth. The choice might scare you at first, or you might feel excited about what you feel your heart is asking you to do. Your mind may not understand and therefore create doubt, but the heart has its own wise genius beyond compare. It is the vehicle through which the divine plan is felt, and it is your flawless inner compass. This oracle comes to you with a message: let all your choices come from your heart. If it feels right for your heart and there is joy there, even if you have to search beneath the what if something goes wrong fears of the mind to find it, then do it. If you recently made such a decision and are waiting to see if the sky is going to fall on top of you, this oracle affirms you have crossed the threshold into a new way and that it is time to leave the fears of the past behind you now. So I'm just going to read this bit as well. You can always choose to try and continue with life as it is, even though in due course it will change and take you along with it. Or you can be the spiritual adventurer along your own untraveled path. Yeah, I feel like that is like this, being the adventurer. This person's like off on a voyage. They're off on an adventure. They're trusting their inner map to know where to go. So yeah, along your own untraveled path, knowing that the Divine Mother watches over you and will protect, assist, and guide you. The Divine Mother, what did we say? I love when all the cards sync up. Divine Mother watches over you and will protect, assist, and guide you as you find your way. It is safe to trust the call to new life you feel inside. It is your destiny urging you forward into so much grace. Exactly. And you are going to move forward. We've got the Chariot here. You've got so many major arcana cards here. So there's just a lot of energy, a lot of big life force energy at play here. So this is a big crossroads for you at this time. So I'm going to hold the healing process up to the camera. I hope you can see this okay. There we go. Hopefully that's not too blurry. If you pause that and take a screenshot if you want to read this in your own time. And oh yeah, that's it. That's only one page for the healing process. Great. So my lovely pile number ones, I'm going to leave your reading there. I'm sorry that was quite a long reading. For those of you who are still listening, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you today. Don't forget to leave a comment below if this resonated. I always love to hear from you and I will always reply if I can. And hit the like button if you enjoyed it, so it just tells me and the YouTube algorithm to send my readings out for this little baby channel. It helps it to grow as well. And hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. And thank you so much for being here. All my love to you for your journey, and I will see you in the next reading. Okay, bye. Hi there, pile number 2. If you were drawn to the Goddess Inanna card, Believe in Yourself, or the Sodalite crystal, then this will be your pile. Okay, my love. So pile number 2, the energy I get from you guys is you are my beautiful, shamans, my wild rebels, my ones who can connect with the other side, who can really there's really a wild energy to you, a very sensual energy, a very embodied energy. It's like you might get a lot of wisdom through your body. You might find that your body is able to get messages from the other side, or messages about people. I'm kind of getting that energy of, how animals have that intuitive thing, that instinct, that instinctual side, wolves I'm getting, where they can really tell when there might be a predator approaching. They just have that really sharp instinctual self, and I'm getting that you really very much have this within you. It's almost like you can't really see it though. With Inanna in this particular card, she's got her eyes closed, and it's almost like you have this incredible part of you have this incredible gift, but you don't really see it in your own self. Because also with Sodalite, this is all about self-belief, self-trust, self-expression, because it's connected with the color blue, which is connected with the throat chakra, and self-esteem. So there's just a little bit of a need to kind of believe in yourself, to be able to express your true self, your true needs, your true desires. Maybe some of you you have this sort of instinctual side, or you have this side of yourself that really wants to be quite rebellious and quite wild and kind of do things for yourself and things that bring you pleasure, or things that you really enjoy or really want to do, or that your intuition is telling you to do, but you might end up falling into a little bit of people pleasing patterns or something. And that's where Sodalite can be a really, really good crystal to help any of you who might be noticing that you're self-sacrificing a little bit, or people pleasing, or not speaking your truth, not speaking not really maybe struggling to embrace your authentic self. That's what I'm getting. It's you're maybe getting swept into going along with the crowd. Like, it's like, oh, well, what I really want to do is this, like, I want to do the shamanic course, or I want to go and do this dancing thing, or like, I want to go in, I don't know, I'm getting something to do with the jungle or something. Maybe some of you want to just like go traveling in South America and like go to the jungles, or learn about shamanic medicine from a medicine person in the jungle. Or it's that kind of vibe. It's like you've got this kind of wild self that wants to travel maybe, or wants to like break out of the mold and wants to like go and do your own thing. But you're kind of getting like maybe finding yourself getting like swept along with like the mainstream, or with people around you, or society, or whatever it is. So let's get into a little bit more of your messages to find out what's going on there, and what you need to, how you can really find the courage to leap forward with what you really want to do. So what have we got here? So exactly, blue kyanite and honeysuckle, sword of truth, freedom, warrior of light, stop holding yourself back. Exactly, sword of truth. I love how this blue here is very much like this blue sodalite crystal. It's like blue is a strong color for you, so there might be some throat chakra healing that really needs to happen, because yeah, I'm getting a croaky throat right now as I'm speaking, funnily enough. So excuse me, some of you may need to do some throat chakra clearing work. So you can look up YouTube. There's lots of videos on YouTube that, you know, have throat chakra healing music, or things like that, that you can do throat chakra meditations. You can eat blue foods. So in fact, I had blueberries this morning with my yogurt, which is a delicious way to get like really good throat chakra energy in. You can wear the color blue, and you can also use blue crystals. So again, sodalite could be a really good crystal for you. So yeah, with sword of truth, I do feel like there's something blocking you maybe with pile 2, with being able to speak your truth, with being able to stay aligned with your truth, with being strong enough to express your truth and go after your truth and be fully embody your authentic true self. It's like there's an authentic true self that's kind of like, I'm seeing it like those little oh my gosh, what are they called? Those Russian dolls, you know, where they're like, there's like a little tiny one, and then there's like another one and another one and another one, and you know, they're like those wooden dolls, and they're like painted on the outside, and then there's like a bigger doll that's like, you know, about that big, that's holding like 10 other smaller dolls inside them. And it's like your authentic self is like the smallest doll that's trapped inside like all these layers of out, like a sort of mask that you're needing to wear to kind of perhaps fit in with people around you, or to please people, or to like fit in with your family, or just to survive even, like, you know, right? Like some of us, we just aren't in the type of environment which allows us to thrive as our authentic self, and so we dim that side of ourselves down in order to fit in order to survive. It might have been something that you did as a survival mechanism as a child, like you really squashed your authentic truth because it was dangerous to actually speak out, because you might have got, I'm hearing like you might have got smacked a lot for speaking your truth, or something like that. Maybe you were someone who shared a lot of truths with people around you, because I feel like you're really connected, part 2. Like you're really tapped into that, it's like that instinctual self, that intuitive self, that like medicine woman type self, or medicine man self, who can like get messages from, you know, the other side. And like you, yeah, you might have been someone who said a lot of those things to adults maybe when you were a kid, and they did not like that, and so you got punished, and so you learned to like shut that part of you down, and thought like, oh my gosh, that wise woman, wise man side of me, or wise, however you identify, side of me is dangerous and bad, and you've kind of blocked it off. And so that's why it's like your authentic self is the smallest doll, like within that kind of Russian doll thing. So yeah, there's something around like needing to just be free, like free yourself and stop holding yourself back from what you really want to do and the direction you really want to go in and what will really bring you joy. It's really, really important that you bring yourself that freedom, that you use that sword of truth to like cut away what isn't true in your life, what isn't authentic to you, the people that aren't supporting your true self, and like go forward with where you want to go. So let's get a few more cards. Okay, we've got the Bardo. I'm just going to pull I'm going to do this pile a little bit differently to the other one, and I'm going to pull all your cards out, and then we'll get all the messages. That's what I'm being guided to do. So let's see, we've got held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community. We have got flow. We have got expectations, don't seek anyone's approval. Exactly. I definitely feel like that's a strong theme for you. And we have got intuition. I am in tune with my soul's inner knowing. Yeah. So pile number 3, I feel like all these cards are really just confirming everything I've just been talking about with the introduction with Inanna here. With Bardo, I'm getting, and also with held, unseen help and support and community. And we've got this like person lying naked, kind of in the fetal position, holding their arms around themselves in like it's like a womb space kind of thing. And then like ancestral energy almost like, or yeah, this looks like a grandmother or something, a grandmother figure, like sending healing down. So there's very much an energy of you are being protected and held from like the other side, if you like, from perhaps your ancestors, or from, you've got like a lot of divine protection around you. You've got a lot of like, it's like a community of guides, or like a group of guides, or it's like starseed energy I'm getting. So some of you may identify as a starseed. It's like you've got like I'm picking up like Andromedan or Sirius or something like that. It's like there's like a whole, you've got this lineage of ancestors that are sending you like healing, and you're really held, and it's like you have the ability to connect with that, because with Bardo this is about being able to like be in a liminal space, if I can pick it up, be in a liminal space and connect with like the other side, connect with like either the shadow self or the inner child, or like the higher self, or our guides or ancestors or other people or spirits who have passed over. We've got all these scales here. So maybe for some of you, you're a medium, or you have the ability to connect with souls that have passed, whether it's dead ancestors. Like I said, there could be a grandmother or a grandparent who could be significant to you. And again, what I was saying about when you were a child and you were speaking your truth and that got suppressed because people didn't want to hear it, maybe one of those things were like, you know, you could see dead people, to quote that, like that movie. I've forgotten the name of it now, but anyway, the I See Dead People. Yeah, I've gone blank. I can't remember the name of the film. But anyway, the point is that you maybe could see dead people, you could see passed over people, like ancestors specifically. It could have been whether it was like you moved to a new house and for some reason you could kind of connect with, there were like spirits in the house or something, or you could just always pick up messages from the other side, whether it was a specific ancestor or specific people who had passed, or just you were able to connect with that liminal space. You were just able to pick up guidance, you were able to pick up messages somehow. You didn't really understand it, but you just did, and you would speak it to people and they might have got weird about that, or they might have told you to stop doing that, or maybe you had a sort of psychic sense where you could predict when things were going to happen, or things around like, I'm getting someone who could pick up when people were ill. So maybe some of you are like a medical medium, or you have that ability to detect when someone's ill. And you might have said things like that and then that didn't go down very well. Or maybe, you know, like it might have even been something where like I'm picking up for someone that that part of you wasn't necessarily suppressed by like parents or anything around you, but like as you grew up and you were in society and like maybe went to school or like went into the workplace, it was like, oh, like this skill that I have is just not really valued here. Like I can't really bring this thing out. Like it's a party trick that people don't really appreciate, like knowing, you know, that they're going to have cancer, or like knowing, getting messages from their dead grandmother or something. Like people just don't want to know this stuff, so I'm just going to like block it and not really do it anymore or something like that. It's like there's something around having that ability to connect with the other side, or having the ability to see, because we've got this eye here, this beautiful eye in the middle, and it's like maybe some of you are clear clairvoyant. So you could see the future. So you might have predicted things like, I'm hearing like floods or something. So maybe some of you could predict if something was going to happen in your town or in your country or in the world or something. Like you just maybe had that ability to like receive messages or receive wisdom or receive insight or receive clairvoyance or guidance from ancestors or something. And you're very strongly connected to that side, but this is like an archetype that you need to re-embody. It's something that maybe is a bit latent in you, or something that maybe has been blocked, and something where it's really important that you like uncover your truth and you really go forward with this, like really leap forward with this. That's the title of the reading, is Leap Forward with Courage. It's like really important. Your guides are really they're really like coming in strong to be like, come on, pal, too, like we've got you, you're supported, you're held, like don't worry, like we've got you. You don't need to seek these other people's approval. Like maybe there's a lot of expectations on you from, again, it could be family to go into a certain field, or it could be society or your colleagues or something like that. And there's all these competing expectations, and there's all this stuff that you feel like you've got to please other people. And this card is very strongly saying don't seek anyone's approval. We've got these little fairies on this card here, so maybe some of you like could see or speak with elementals when you were younger as well. You had a strong connection with the elemental world, the natural world as well. We can see this person in the forest with trees and flowers and things all around, and mushrooms, so there was maybe an energy when you were younger where you could really connect with that, the natural world, and you could pick up messages from like the trees, and you could feel the feelings of like, the natural world, or like just connect with that side, or you just found being in the forest or something very grounding and very calming, and would help you feel more, it's almost like, feel more accepted, because you felt more like you were friends with fairies and like the elementals and with the natural world than you did with like the actual people around you, because you felt like you stuck out, like you felt like you were the black sheep is what I'm hearing. It's like you were the black sheep in your family, because you might have had these strange gifts, or you might have been very imaginative as a child. You might have talked about like you'd go out into the forest and you'd come back and be like, mommy, I saw a fairy, or like I did this, or I played with that, and your parents are like, yeah, like get on with it, like do your homework, or like all about kind of rules and rigidity. You might have also been brought up in a very like conformist or religious or conservative upbringing, where you were really forced to kind of conform and toe the line and like believe in things that, like religious side of things that kind of very much didn't allow this side of you to exist, this like ability to kind of be a bardo yourself and have that connection with the liminal space yourself. It's like that was not allowed because of religious reasons or cultural reasons or something, or just a lack of understanding from the people around you. But there's a really strong message coming through around not needing to not seek other people's approval for your like wild self or your true self. It's like it's really important for you to know that the support that you're looking for exists on the other side. It's like at the moment you're kind of maybe seeking approval through just like, I'm hearing like muggles, like through like regular humans who aren't connected with this type of stuff. And like your guides are like stop doing that. Like we've got you, connect with us. Like that's where you're going to get the support from. That's where your community is. And like as the more and more you do that, and the more you embrace that side, the more you'll start to find your soul tribe and your soul family of other people who are also doing that. So you'll find that support in that community around you, and you may even be asked to create a community around you. But it's very, very important at the moment with intuition. I'm in tune with my soul's inner knowing. It's really important to listen to that calling and listen to the calling of your soul and what your intuition is telling you to do, and not what other people are telling you to do. I very much feel like you're sort of person who maybe like tends to, when you're not sure what to do or what course of action to take, you canvass every single person in your life rather than your intuition. It's like you just don't want to even ask your intuition or what your gut is telling you or your instinct is telling you. It's like you go to like you might go to a counselor, you might go to like this friend, that friend, this friend, that friend, a parent, another parent, like an aunt, it's like kind of you really are looking for like this validation and approval for what you should do from the outside, from other people, from like sort of muggles, if you like, or regular people who are doing whatever, and they don't really understand you fully, or they don't understand the gifts that you have, or the intuition sort of the intuitive gifts that you have, and this special ability to be this bardo, to be this connection with the liminal world, with the other side, with guides and so forth. It may be that you're drawn to this, doing something like this, like tarot readings or divination or astrology or I'm getting more that it's like shamanic-y stuff though. I'm getting a strong kind of shamanic vibe from this particular Inanna card. But either way, it's like it'll be different for all of you. Some of you might be drawn into more like sort of intuitive work, or connecting with, maybe being like a medium, or being someone who passes on messages from the other side, from like ancestors or something. And some of you might be more drawn towards more like medicine woman, medicine man type work, like using the intuitive messages that you get to heal people in some way. But the point is that you have this very special side of you, this very special connection. And I'm getting with the number 12 that when some of you were like 12 years of age, it might have really been then that you switched it off. So maybe some of you were indulged as a child, like maybe it was sort of okay for you to talk to fairies or talk to the other side or talk to your dead grandmother or something like that. But as soon as you were like a teenager and going to school and things like that, like the logical side got taken over and that part of you really got suppressed. And they're drawing my attention to this card. That flow of information kind of stopped. Like, it's like it was dammed up. And so you stopped getting that intuitive flow of information through. And that's why you now might fall to people pleasing, or fall to canvassing other people's opinions to try and figure out what to do, and looking outside of yourself a lot to figure out what to do, because that flow, that beautiful intuitive flow, because this isn't a river during the day, this is a river at night with a full moon, which is symbolic of the divine feminine. So it's like, or symbolic of the intuitive self, symbolic of like the instinctual self, symbolic of like the subconscious. So it's all of that side that has been kind of blocked. So there's a need to tap back into that flow to allow that information to come back through, because it's natural to you. This is an archetype that you have already within you. It just needs to be like unblocked again, so that the information can just run like a current through. And I'm getting definitely for some of you, if you are drawn towards doing this type of thing, like really, really go for it. Like if you get messages through, naturally, if you're a natural intuitive and you get messages through and you already like say something like tarot or like, other forms of divination, then go for it. Like do it. I'm getting that really strongly. So let's move into your tarot cards next. I'm going to clear these away, and then we've got a crystal mandala oracle, so stick around for that if you are interested. They're always really healing messages to finish off with. And in the meantime, while I'm getting these out, don't forget to hit the like button if you're enjoying this reading. It just helps tell the YouTube algorithm to send these videos out there, and it helps my little baby channel to grow, so I really, really appreciate that. Right, let's get into your tarot. So to begin with, we have got Death, Jet. Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting with this again, it's that kind of same thing with we spoke about the like, with the skulls, the death energy, like the other side, the, perhaps dead ancestors or something. It's like you have an ability to like mine the people that have passed for like really good insight, because with this vulture here, vultures are people who vultures are animals or birds who come down and like feast on the dead, but they have this, it's a very necessary service that they provide to the animal world, where they will take care of a carcass so that it's not just like out there sort of thing. It's like they very much like it's like they're symbolic of helping people transition, helping the souls of the animals like transition to the other side. Like, because they're birds, they kind of carry, it's that energy of like, they look like they're just like, it's a vulture, like they're preying on the dead, but like actually they're symbolic of carrying that energy, that soul of that dead animal to the other side. It's a necessary service. Like, it seems like a really grim thing, but like it's a very necessary thing. So the other thing I'm getting with this is that some of you might be death doulas or something like that. I know, I believe I have a couple of people who do that type of work in the community, because I did another reading. I think it was the one called What Are You Being Called to Create? I think it was that one, but I could be wrong. And I think in that one I spoke about, there was one of the piles, and there was an energy of people who were doing that type of work, and a number of people commented below, because I didn't actually know the name of what that was. So now I do. Thank you for all of you who wrote and said, it's a death doula. I was like, yes, that's what I was trying to channel. And I didn't know the exact phrase, but yeah, so anyway, so some of you may have seen that reading, but that might be something that you're interested in, or something that you want to do, is helping souls transition, right? It's helping people who are dying or passing, pass with grace, to cross to the other side, to sort of hold them and heal them through that process, sort of thing. So you might be death doulas or something along those lines, or again, you might just be like mediums, where you can connect with those who have passed and bring messages from them to the living. So there's a strong energy of like death around you in a good way. Don't take this as like a literal, this is not a literal sign of like your death at all. It is all symbolic here. These tarot messages are fully symbolic. So it's fully symbolizing that process of death and rebirth, because nothing ever ends, right? Like, everything is eternal, like souls. I mean, however you believe, but this is what I believe. Souls are reincarnated. So the energy doesn't disappear. That's not like it when you die. It goes into another form. It's just the human form has passed, and there's something around you being able to connect, like, with the the word I'm hearing is impermeable. Is that a word? Sorry, sometimes when I'm channeling, I get words and I'm like, is that really a word? Impermeable? Impermeable soul. I think there's something around like you're able to, it's like you have a stronger gift to be able to connect with that side of things, with someone's soul that like never really leaves, than humans in some way. And you might already know this, like you might already be like, yeah, like I've never got humans, or I've always felt like the black sheep. I don't understand why I'm here on earth. I don't really feel connected with people here. I don't get what goes on. Like you're more in this liminal space, or you're more able to like connect with like dead souls, like ancestors, or and it may be a gift. I'm getting the vibe for some of you that this may be a gift that kind of annoys you. Like you're a bit almost like, it's like I'm getting someone being like, I can't switch this off. Like you just get messages in your head all the time from this support group, this network, this like your soul family who are up there trying to hopefully you can see this card with this beautiful grandmother here. I'll hold it right up to the camera. Like you connect with them, with these souls that never end, often better than you can with humans in the 3D world. There won't be for all of you. For some of you, you kind of have both sides, but there's something around with this death card that like this is a strong like archetype with the Bardo and the death card. This is a strong energy that permeates your life in a really significant way, or it's something you're being asked to leap forward with, and you'll all be at different stages of that. Like some of you already know that you're meant to do this kind of thing, and it's just a case of really believing in yourself and going forward with it. For others of you, like I said, some of you are a bit resistant, or it's a bit blocked, or you're a bit annoyed by it. It's almost like, I can't switch these messages off. Like, when does it stop? Like, I don't want to get messages from the dead. I don't want to see dead people. But with the Four of Coins here, yeah, again, I'm getting with this particular Four of Coins, we've got this like Ouroboros, like infinity symbol here, and it's like you have this ability to connect with like the eternal nature of everything, the eternal nature of souls, like the way like nothing ever really ends, like everything just is recycled or comes around, everything is rebirthed. It's like you're very in tune with like the cycles of life, with endings and beginnings, and that process. So maybe some of you are also like you might be like a midwife as well, because you might help with like birthing things as well. With the serpent, it's like I see that you have the ability to go through transformations really easily. Like you can shed your skin and then rebirth yourself and go through like cycles and cycles and cycles of like spiritual awakening. So some of you may have already had like quite a sort of ego death or a dark night of the soul, and that's kind of broken you open to this like this intuitive part of yourself. Yeah, this soul's inner knowing. It's like, yeah, on this card, I've just noticed this woman's got a third eye that's like wide open on the top of her head, and it's like you may have had that part, that intuitive part, like really reawakened after going through a bit of an ego death and rebirth. And then this, like with this serpent here, this is, serpents are often symbolic of like divine feminine energy, because it's that energy of like transformation, of death and rebirth. Yeah, and with apophyllite, this crystal is a lot to do with like stepping into your spiritual truth, like really up leveling to like some to yeah, knowing your spiritual truth and then acting on it. So apophyllite could be a really useful crystal for you. It may be worth looking that up. And also with these pentacles, because pentacles are to do with things in the practical, tangible world, like things to do with, say, related to finances or a job, or your stability, your security, that kind of thing. And so this could be kind of saying that this rebirth that you're going through is going to help open you up to your true spiritual self, so that you can actually like potentially make money from that, like potentially create a bit of a secure financial foundation for yourself. Because it's interesting, there's this like beautiful kind of Ouroboros snake infinity energy here, like symbolizing like this is your soul work, this is your deeper soul work. I'm also getting Kundalini energy with the snake, so this is this like you could be going through a Kundalini awakening right now. It may be that dancing is very useful for you to help heal and move and shift that Kundalini energy. And funnily enough, as I pulled this card, I actually stood up, and I'm like kind of standing, like moving back and forth as I'm talking now, because I need to like move. It's like this energy, this Inanna energy, like look how her one hip is kind of thrust out, her arms are thrust up. It's like there's a need for you to like get out of a rut and like move and like tap into your Kundalini energy, because that's going to really awaken things. And I also think that there's something to do with that, this particular spiritual awakening that you're going through, this particular death and rebirth process you're going through, that you're going to be able to mine to create a financial future for yourself. You're going to be able to plant those seeds and like see them grow. That's not necessarily typically the meaning of the Four of Pentacles or Four of Coins. Four of Coins is usually about sort of conserving and holding on to something. But I feel like because I'm an intuitive reader or channel, this is what I'm getting specifically through for this particular card, that this is saying you can create that foundation, you can make money, you can create a career out of this spiritual work. Let's see what other cards we've got here for you. So we've also got, yeah, exactly, Six of Wands. Like you can be successful at this. This person's climbed a mountain. They've got these wands in the air, which is to do with like victory, success. like going after your goals, achieving them. So if this is something that you felt called towards, this is very much saying like just believe in yourself. And Nana is here to say like you need to believe in yourself. You need to go forward with this. You need to trust yourself that to follow where you're being intuitively guided, because you are going to be successful. You are going to be victorious in this. What else have we got? Justice. Yes. Interesting. We've got the two skulls again. So more kind of death imagery here, more skull imagery. So again, I'm getting that with the bardo vibe of being able to connect with that liminal space. That's interesting with the sun and the moon. There's a need to balance like the masculine and feminine to find that like counterpoint between like, yeah, sort of trusting that intuitive side of yourself. We've got with the intuition card, there's this crescent moon is here in this card as well. So it's like maybe some of you have been operating or believing more in your masculine side and the sort of sun side of yourself, like your kind of day-to-day personality, or like what you do for your job, or how you operate in the world on a day-to-day basis. Like I don't know what, maybe some of you are like, yeah, your sun sign might be an earth sign, maybe like or a fixed sign is what I'm getting. So you might be a little bit resistant to opening up to this like intuitive energy. Which is why you had the flow card, because it was like there was a need to be able to go with the flow, but more there was a need to unblock and untap that flow of information. So yeah, that your sun sign might be significant in some way, where like maybe before the sun sign part of you, say you were a fixed sign, like, or say you were something like Capricorn energy. I'm kind of getting, I don't think that is actually the fixed sign, is it? But it's a very like, it's an earth sign, and it's very like, you know, work hard kind of thing. You know, mountain goat energy of like, I've just got to kind of keep putting one foot in front of the other, and we've got to kind of like reach this goal, like this Six of Wands, like walk to the top of the mountain. So there's just not a warning, but like a nudge from spirit to kind of say, yeah, but don't forget about your intuitive side. Don't forget about your intuition, your instincts, your feminine side, because, and this is energy. This isn't like male, female. This is talking about just energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us, regardless of how we identify. But there's a need to balance out both. Some of you may have been drawn to Power One as well, because that was a lot to do with balance too. And also interesting, this card is all blue, and we've got sapphire as well. So the stone sapphire could be useful for you. But again, blue, throat chakra energy. You know, as I mentioned with the blue sodalite at the beginning, speaking your truth, you know. And I feel like it's saying like you are going to find like the justice that you've been looking for, like, or justice is going to be served on you, in the sense that for those of you who were picked on as a child, or blocked from expressing your gifts or expressing your truth, or your authentic self was really like squashed or suppressed in some way, it's like you're going to find justice. Like with these two skulls on here, it's like these are like the ancestors like looking out over you, like, you know, it's like you're safe, you're you know, like you can connect with this side of the world, like you are going to find justice in that, you are going to find security and stability in that in some way. So let's see, finally we have yes, Queen of Swords, beautiful. With this book and the key, it's like there's wisdom here that you have that is so powerful. And basically what I'm getting is like, you have got to share it. You've got to share the wisdom that you have. Like you've got to step into and embody that queen energy, that sovereign energy, and share your truth, because swords is all about truth, right? It's all about like, yeah, truth, messages, putting information out there, sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge, and being the queen of that, right? It's like this wisdom, this knowledge is like the key to everything. It's going to unlock everything. This is like your future, is being sovereign in this wisdom and knowledge that you need to get out there. Whether it's like, yeah, you have some kind of medicine wisdom, whether you have some kind of like I said, like, you know, tarot guidance, like you can connect with the other side and bring that wisdom through from, say, people's ancestors or something. Or even like some of you might be writing a book, or there might be something around writing that could be very significant for you, that could be what you're being called to do. But yeah, there's definitely a need. It's interesting. There's these two swords here on her, like her earrings are two swords. It's like you've got to embody your truth. You've got to embody your authentic truth and put your authentic truth out there. It's like you've got to be this queen, and live in your truth. It's like be, yeah, be like on the throne of your truth, and you will be successful at this. I feel like some of you maybe fear that you're not going to be able to do very well at this, or you're not going to be able to make money from it, or it's not going to be approved of by other people, or your family aren't going to approve of it, or your friends aren't going to approve of it. And there's some kind of block around something like that. But there's a need to sort of let that go and really step into your own sovereignty around this, and like go forward with, yeah, like really go forward with courage, because you are going to be victorious, and you are going to have it's going to come out that you'll be able to prove not that you need to, but you will be able to prove yourself to everyone. Like everyone will be like, oh my gosh, like Pal 2, did you know that Pal 2, like they're like a famous medium now, and they're like on TV, or I don't know, whatever. Like it doesn't have to be that, but like you'll be vindicated in a sense. Like this thing that you maybe blocked, it's like this sort of wild side of you, or this part of you that can connect with the other side, or like this part of you that wants to do something maybe a bit more esoteric or a bit more alternative or something. It's like you'll have justice in the end. Like you'll see your just deserve, or your what's due to you will come to you as a result of like following your truth. It's very, very important. There's a lot around like following your truth in this pile. This is very much about that. So let me just, yeah, I think I'll move straight on to we'll finish up with your crystal mandala card, and I'm going to read a bit of a message from the guidebook. This is the Crystal Mandala Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and the card that you got is, oh my goodness, this is so appropriate. Ascended Master Kuan Yin and Pearl, Divine Rebel. Yeah, I did speak about some of you being like a black sheep, or having that sort of slightly rebellious energy where you want to go out into the world and do something a bit different. So you're very much being encouraged to do that here. But let's just get the message, and I'm going to read most of this one. Here we go. So, we bring you the blessing of the Divine Rebel. Divine rebels shake things up, create a divine disturbance, and refuse to play by the rules. They do this because they love divine love. They know there is nothing as powerful as the unconditional love of the divine. It will have its way in the world, in the hearts of all living beings. It will not be tamed, controlled, restricted, or denied. If there is a rule that gets in the way of that love, then the divine rebel will find another way so that love can have its way. The divine rebel in you is not meant to do things the way others say you should. Some people may become frustrated with you because they won't know why you have to stand up and speak your truth. What were we saying about speaking your truth? I love it. That's okay. Divine rebels are not always understood, but they are respected by those who are ready to make love more important than fear, and who are willing to contribute constructively towards healing the world. Yeah, so I did pick up a sort of healer vibe from some of you. Let's see, I might just continue to read a little bit of this. I won't read the whole thing because it's really long, but I'll pick up the bits I'm guided. The divine rebel does things that break stereotypes wide open. They dance when they are supposed to be sitting still. What did I say about dancing? Exactly. So some of you might be called towards dancing. If you're feeling drawn towards that, get dancing, get moving, get that kundalini moving. Dance when they're supposed to be sitting still. They argue when they're supposed to be quiet. They're serene when they're supposedly meant to be enraged, and they get angry when they're supposed to be calm. This is natural for a rebel. They are not trying to be different for the sake of it. They just go against the grain and don't play to type because this is how they were divinely designed. Part of your life purpose as a divine rebel is to show others that there is always another way, that the conditions the mind places on the world about how things should be done can and should be challenged. Okay, so when the Oracle of Divine Rebel comes to you, you are being acknowledged as one of the ones who are different and who are here to stir up loving truths in your own particular way. Again, more stuff about truth. Maybe you are the black sheep of the family, so to speak. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I channeled that through, and then it's literally right here. So that's a double confirmation that some of you might have been the black sheep of the family, and I am with you. I am one of those, so I hear you. So yeah, you're the black sheep of the family, so to speak, and don't necessarily fit in completely to any one social group. Maybe you seem to be just like everyone else on the surface, but underneath you think differently. And maybe you worry sometimes that you are even a bit weird, or perhaps you know that you are a divine eccentric and you are perfectly comfortable with that. You may even celebrate it. No matter whether your divinely rebellious nature is subtle or obvious, you are something of an outsider. You belong here and you have a divine family, but it is made up of unique, creative, and unusual beings like yourself, rather than necessarily being limited to your biological family. There we go. So I feel like that's kind of confirmation of that card about support and community. Like, there are other people like you. There is a community of people like you out there. It's just finding them once you're able to speak your truth. So let's see. You are guided to seek out and play with other divine fringe dwellers. Go to interesting events. If you have a passionate interest or hobby, go and meet like-minded people. Don't hold yourself back from connection based on pain of being misunderstood or rejected in the past. Those people just weren't your soul tribe. That's okay. There will be people who are looking for you, who need you just as much as you are looking for them and need them. The divine will take care of it. You just need to be willing to put yourself out there and be open to meeting people. You'll know when you've met the right people. You'll recognize them as your soul brothers and sisters. Together you can support each other as you refuse to fall in line with the mainstream groupthink that holds so many trapped in fear, uncertainty, and ignorance of their own divine nature. Instead, you'll stir things up, create a loving fuss, and refuse to be told you cannot do what makes your soul come alive. Oh, I love this. If you try to clip your wings and your wild streak to join the real world, you'll feel as though you are abandoning yourself. You may want to fit in, to feel connected to the world, yet all you'll end up feeling in relationship with others who do not love and accept you for who you are is very alone. The real world that such people live in is not so real after all, and love that asks you to conform in order to be loved is not so loving either. What did I say about conforming? I spoke specifically of some of you had to conform when you were children maybe, or even into adulthood. So that's amazing. That's come up. There is far more for you to receive as you allow your divine rebel nature to emerge and guide you towards those free spirits like yourself who perhaps also don't quite fit in with the mainstream. Then you can enjoy the creative sparks and fun that happens when you share your insights, wisdom, and creativity with each other. Okay, so I'm going to hold... Oh, actually, hold on. I'm being drawn to this bit about dancing. The Oracle of Divine Rebel comes to you with the message that even though you are not walking on a treadmill in a straight line, you are doing beautifully whilst dancing in spirals. Yeah, again, another thing about dancing. So some of you may be dancers or just being called to dance to get that energy going. You will attract your divine soul tribe and find your way to belong here because you are meant to be here. There are no mistakes in the universe. As you relax, love, and accept yourself more each day, the universe will take care of the rest. And there's a healing process, which I'm going to hold up to the camera. So if you pause and take a photo, take a screenshot of that. I hope it shows up okay on YouTube. Sometimes the quality isn't necessarily as strong, so I can read it here and then it goes on YouTube and it's not very clear. So just let me know if you can't and I'll get it to you somehow. Okay, hold that up. Hopefully you can see that okay. You can pause it and take a screenshot. There we go. Okay. Okay, my lovelies, I'm going to leave your reading there. Thank you so, so much for letting me read for you today. It's been wonderful to tap into your energy. You guys are really powerful and really meant to shake up the world and do some amazing things. So definitely believe in yourself. Call on Goddess Inanna to help you get the sodalite crystal to help you speak your truth. Do the healing process, and I wish you every success. You will be successful. You have got this. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this. It helps tell YouTube to send this video around. Leave me a comment if it resonated with you. I always love to hear from you. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi, beautiful souls of pile number 3. If you chose the gorgeous Amaterasu with the key message of no more hiding and the labradorite crystal, then this will be your reading. Okay, my lovely pile number 3. So I'm actually going to start your reading by reading directly from the guidebook for Amaterasu because the message is really beautiful, and I just feel like it encapsulates everything that Amaterasu wants you to hear right now. So you're an introspective soul with a deep and multi-layered inner life. You need time to process and reflect on life's events. Private space is vital for your well-being. It can feel safe and familiar to keep yourself closeted away, but Amaterasu is asking you to share more of your beautiful light and wisdom. You have a special energy that needs to be seen, so don't hide it. What do you fear might happen if you reveal your true spirit? Does it feel as if your energy may somehow be damaged or destroyed if it's brought out into the open, or perhaps that you'll be hurt, judged, or misunderstood? Even if this has happened before, Amaterasu wants to restore your trust. She understands your fears about coming out of the dark cave and offers you her hand. Come out, shining one, she says. Remove your cloak so we can receive your inner light. You can be an important guide for others. It's safe and trustworthy out here, and you'll be met with love, respect, and gratitude for sharing what's inside your heart. And the invocation is, I reveal what's in my heart and it's received with love. And the additional meanings of the card are share your feelings openly with someone. You'll soon gain wider or public recognition for your work, and don't censor yourself to win others' approval. Beautiful. So with the labradorite crystal as well here, I feel like for some of you, I'm seeing some of you in this like little chrysalis, like a caterpillar as it's turning into a butterfly, and you've been in this little chrysalis mode for quite a while, almost like in a self-imposed hermit mode, as you've been going through this sort of perhaps spiritual transformation into becoming able to guide others, and you're somewhat holding on to that chrysalis stage and not wanting to kind of come out, and there's a need to sort of break out of that. It's like you're a butterfly, you're not a caterpillar anymore, you've grown your wings, you're fully in your butterfly self. It's time to like break out of that cage and like fly into the world, because like with the labradorite crystal, I don't know if you can see here where it's catching the light, it's got these very sort of like butterfly wings, like the sort of translucence of a butterfly wing. So labradorite is a useful crystal for transformation, but also more specifically, I was looking up some additional healing qualities, if you like, for labradorite, and one of the sites that I looked at said specifically that labradorite says it's safe to be big, to put yourself out there and be truly authentic in the world. So I feel like that is so appropriate for Goddess Amaterasu with the message of no more hiding, that it really is safe to be big, it really is safe to come out of the cave now. There's a lot of wisdom. You've gone through a transformation, and there's a lot of wisdom that you have internally that's time to share. It's like your time to be a guide, as the guidance from Amaterasu said. So let's get straight into the oracle cards that I've already pre-pulled to see if we can get some additional messages. So we have got Tree, Let Them Go, card number 18. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of saying along the lines of what the Amaterasu card was saying about censoring yourself to win others' approval. So it's time to let those other people go. Anyone else's approval you're trying to win, or anyone else that you are trying to perhaps please, or if you feel that there was anyone who maybe might have damaged you in the past or hurt you or judged you or misunderstood you. It's really important to like let that go. So with that burning tree, I'm seeing for some of you, you could do a ritual around, perhaps around the full moon, because the full moon is a potent time to release. So you could write down any kind of hurts that you've had in the past where you've tried to speak your truth or be come out into the open and be your true self in some way, or share something with someone, or whatever it was, some part of you that might have been judged or misunderstood or something, that's really deeply hurt you. And it might be important to write those feelings down and then burn them to help like just release that energy and just release these people, release those judgments, release the misunderstanding. It's really, really important at this time to let that go, kind of like the way trees will release their leaves at autumn and they just let go of that energy because it's just dead, like the leaves are, they're dead, they're not going to give anything else to the tree. It's time to release it into the ground, and then that all that sort of the mulch or the decaying leaves and everything provides food for the forest floor for things to regrow again. So it's like you can really use that. I feel like it's like a process of regeneration and transformation. It's like you can use all that negative energy perhaps that you absorbed from other people and use it to like really rise up and come out and shine your light. It's like you have a lot of wisdom and empathy because you know what it's like to feel judged, and you know what it's like to have been perhaps misunderstood or treated poorly or whatever it might be. So you have got a lot of empathy that you can show others as a result of your experiences. But it's really important to like let go of the perhaps shame that might have been projected onto you, like anything that like was thrown your way that's not really who you really are. It's like you need to let that go. I'm also seeing here with her sitting by the tree and like sitting on the ground, grounding your energy and like sending any energy down into the earth. Any negative energy that you've absorbed from other people down into the earth could be really useful as well. So for some of you, if you're drawn more to the element of fire, then doing that ritual of writing out hurts or something and burning it could be useful. For others of you, it'll be connecting with the earth and sending that energy down into the earth, or doing some kind of earthing ritual to help release that. So let's have a look. We have also got the vessel. Beautiful. I'm just going to pull all the other cards out, and then we'll get all your messages together. We've got pixie helpers and green aventurine. Not all wanderers are lost. Clearing the way, luck and opportunity. Yeah, definitely something around clearing that's really important right now. I was actually drawn to drink a cup of peppermint tea just before I did your reading. So for some of you, peppermint tea or the peppermint essential oil or mint, the mint plant could be really useful for you. Peppermint is a very cleansing and clearing herb. Even burning mint could be useful. But yeah, there's something needed around clearing the way, like clearing out these negative beliefs, clearing out any negative projections that people have put on you that are blocking you from coming out of the cave, so to speak, that are blocking you from shining your light, that are blocking you from coming out like into wider awareness and sharing your gifts and being a guide for others. So something around clearing the way is very important here. I will come back to this card in just a moment. I'm going to get the rest of the cards and I'll read some messages together as came through in the channeling I got for you. We've also got the wild rose, do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, untamed. Beautiful. Just check that's in the shot. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. There we go. We have also got wisdom. Yes, exactly. And we have got divine guidance. Yeah, what was I just saying about guidance? I am divinely guided. You guys are guides, as Amaterasu said at the beginning. You are definitely guides for others. So it's really important that you do everything you can to clear out anything that's blocking you from stepping into the light, so that you can share your truth and your wisdom with others. Because like I said, a lot of you might have been through many things in your life, and you've alchemized a lot of those things and transformed, and you're now a butterfly. But I feel like part number 3, you see yourself as like a caterpillar still. It's like, yeah, I'm just still a regular Joe Schmo. Like, I'm just gonna crawl along the ground like everyone else. And your guides are like, Stop crawling on the ground, pile 3. What are you doing? You're still trying to be a caterpillar and you're a butterfly. Like, you're a butterfly, you're a butterfly, you're a butterfly. You need to fly. You need to spread your wings. You need to get out in the world. You need to show your beautiful butterfly wings. It's like that with that labradorite crystal. It's like you've got all these beautiful colors, all this beautiful, like, translucent coloring to you. I'm getting it kind of almost like peacock feathers. It's like you have this beauty, you have this wisdom, you have all these things to share, but you're hiding them. It's like you're kind of staying in your little safety zone and your comfort zone. You're staying in your wee caterpillar chrysalis. And I'm seeing like this I'm getting this visual of like a caterpillar's gone through the chrysalis stage and it's grown its wings and it's a butterfly, but it's staying inside the chrysalis shell that's kind of broken open because it's not meant to stay in there for ages, right? Like, it's already gone through that process and it's meant to come out. But like, as a butterfly, it's like, I'm hearing like you're breached. It's like, you know, when babies are being born and they get kind of stuck, it's like there's something has got stuck and you're like trying to get out of the shell, and your self-belief, because of your fear of judgment, I feel like, or because of your fear of being misunderstood or hurt if you try and share your truth, that's kind of blocking you. It's kind of it's breaching you, essentially. It's breaching you from fully transforming and fully coming out of the cave or out of the chrysalis and like going into the light fully. It's like, I feel like you're there a little bit. Like, I feel like for many of you, pile 3, you already know you're a guide. Maybe some of you already are. You know, you might be tarot readers, you might already do this kind of thing. You might have felt called to start like your own channel, or, you know, work with people to do readings or something, or give guidance in some kind of way. Some of you might be like guidance counselors, or you want to be a guidance counselor, or just something that provides some kind of like divine guidance and support for people. You felt that calling, you felt that stirring, you know that's what you're meant to do, but there's just something kind of like holding you back. Something that's keeping you hiding, something that's making you fearful of like really fully coming out and really shining your light in the world and sharing your wisdom. Because I feel like really with this vessel archetype here, because this is when I was pulling these cards, I asked for what is the archetype that they most need to, that pile 3 most needs to embody in order to basically come into the light here. And you got the vessel. And I feel like this is saying like you are the vessel for divine guidance. Like you're born literally to embody and bring through divine guidance in some way. Like, that is your purpose, that is your being. It's like and it's also like so naturally a part of you. Like, it's just a part of like your whole being kind of thing. Like, everything in you, like you're just often, like, I feel like maybe for you, pile 3, you might pick up a lot of messages almost physiologically. Like, you get an embodied sense of you know, of something, of an intuitive message. It's like you might be an INFP in the 16 personalities or something like that. But yeah, it's like with the vessel, it's like you very much feel physiologically or physically. You know, you might feel if danger is near, for example. You might feel if there is like a negative person around you who might you know, send negative energy away or be a hurtful person towards you. So I feel like maybe there's a lot of fears that have become kind of trapped in your body, where like it's like you're physiologically expecting negative things to come towards you, or like to receive negativity from other people. And so you're kind of hiding yourself. It's like you can see with this particular vessel card, sorry, I keep knocking the camera, she's covering her body here. It's like she's like, oh, don't look at me, like she's kind of covering her private parts sort of thing, and kind of hiding. And actually I'm just looking at also with this card, this person's got like her back to the camera, and this card there's no head and it's just like covering a body. So there's definitely this energy of like hiding yourself away or keeping yourself closed off or keeping yourself protected. Also, what I was saying about the butterfly being like still trapped inside the chrysalis or like not fully coming out, like the chrysalis is kind of already broken open in expectation that the butterfly is going to fly off, but the butterfly is just staying in the chrysalis. And that's kind of like this, like this is like a chrysalis. This is like your kind of the womb space, the vessel space, the space where spirit has been kind of holding you in a holding zone so that you can transform, and then it's broken open and you're like, oh, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm naked, like don't look at me. And you're kind of, it's so sweet, it's like this really sweet energy of like, oh my gosh, like everyone can see me naked. And it's kind of like maybe there's something around certain truths or certain wisdom that you're meant to share, and that feels very vulnerable to you, so you're kind of like covering yourself up in protection, because I think what's happening is like you're expecting loads of like, it's like with all this black that's coming towards this person, it's like you just expect like really really negative energy to kind of like be projected at you or like thrown at you, like you're just expecting darkness essentially, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so vulnerable, like I've gone through this big spiritual awakening or this big transformation, and like I know I'm meant to be a butterfly, I know I'm meant to be a guide, and I'm meant to share wisdom, but like like I feel really vulnerable and exposed, and I don't really want people to see me, and you're trying to cover up because you're expecting just this darkness. But actually with this, I feel like this is kind of like, this is the sun, there is a lot of warmth and there is a little light that's trying to come to you, but like it's like you're blocking it because all you're expecting and your beliefs just have led to like believing that all you're going to get is absolute like rubbish sent your way, like just really, I don't know, just like lots of judgment, like maybe trolls or something on social media, like maybe some of you have felt called to start a social media channel or something, and you're just expecting like you're blocked because you expect that you'll only get negative comments, or you'll only get haters, or you'll only get people who critique you or something like that, or people who judge you, or maybe you're expecting that the people around you will judge you for doing this kind of work or something. And spirit is drawing my attention back to this again of let them go, let the haters go, let that energy go, let that expectation go, like just let it go. Like definitely do some kind of ritual around that, like I said, the burning or the connecting with the earth, and like really letting go of that belief. It's really really important so that you can leap forward with courage with this path. And also they're drawing my attention to this card around doing it your way and embracing your uniqueness as well. So I feel like that's also saying let go of the expectations of others in terms of like how you're meant to live your life, like what you're meant to do, how you're meant to shine your light, what's safe to shine, you know, like what's safe to do in the world. It's important that you really are your own unique self. Let me try that again. It's important that you are your unique self, and that you do this in your own way, that you do this guidance in your own way, and you're not influenced by the opinions of others. Like, so for example, some of you, say for example, you already have a YouTube channel, right? And you're doing something like this, and you've had some comments on some of your videos or something, or maybe you do, you know, you might do like advice videos. It may not be tarot. It could be, you know, you just do like, you jump on YouTube and do little advice videos or something. And you might have had some comments from some negative trolls or something being like, oh, why don't you use that tarot deck? Or why does your hair look like this? Or why are you blah, 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 blah? Like just, you know, nonsense really, because people, you know, unfortunately haters will be haters, right? Like people, unfortunately, most people don't really leave comments. Few people who are really moved to will leave a nice comment. And then unfortunately, the people that are just kind of negative Nellies like to just, project shit all over people. And so maybe I'm picking up a vibe that maybe for some of you, you've then like tried to get back in your chrysalis, like get back in your shell and be like, oh, it's not safe out there. Like I'm getting attacked, or like, you know, I'm getting trolled, or, I'm getting people attacking me for the way I'm doing something. Like maybe you read in a different way, or you might perceive the world in a different way or something, you know, or you might just, I don't know, just whatever it is you do, you know, you do some kind of hobby. Like I'm seeing with these characters here, like they're kind of dancing. They're also like, for want of a better word, like kind of plus size, I guess, or like perhaps like full bodied, or so there could be something around your like body image that could be blocking you from shining your light or coming out into the world and putting yourself out there. Maybe some of you feel like you're not attractive enough, or you've been body shamed before, or you feel like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, but like I'm too big right now, like I need to lose weight, or like, yeah, I'll do it one day when I look better, or like, oh, I don't feel very confident in my body, so I'm not going to put my face on camera or something. I'm just going to do like, pre-recorded kind of videos or something like that. Or like, oh, I don't feel confident about my voice, or whatever it is. It's like something around being seen, something around maybe your body or putting yourself out there. Maybe some of you want to like try dancing or something, and you're just like, oh no, I couldn't do that because like the way I like to dance is like, people will laugh at me or something. So there's something around like feeling a bit ashamed of yourself in some way, because maybe you were judged when you were a child or a teenager or something for something you wanted to do, or when you were expressing your true self, especially if it was something related to the body. Maybe some of you, like when you were trying to do, say, PE, like physical education or sports or something at school, people like laughed at you, or like, you were mocked for how your body was. Like you might have a different gender identity or something, or a different sexuality or something like that from the like mainstream that were in your school at the time, and you got picked on because of that or something. So there's something kind of around the vessel, the like, oops, sorry for bumping the camera, the physical self that holds like your spirit in it, that you're a little bit ashamed of, and a little bit like it's like you're trying to hide it, you're trying to shield yourself, and you don't want people to see it because of something, I think, that happened maybe when you were younger. And there's a need to just like be untamed. Like spirit are really coming through really strongly, saying like you've got to stop trying to tame that part of you and trying to fit in with some kind of norm or some kind of perceived culturally acceptable way of looking or way of being or way of expressing yourself or way of doing something. And you've just got to be wild. Like you've got to be your wild self. You've got to do it your own way. You've got to embrace your uniqueness, and you've got to ignore the haters. Like don't adapt yourself or hide yourself because of something someone else has said. Like then you're like giving them all the power, and you're also denying the world of all your wisdom and your divine guidance that comes through your body that's meant to go out into the world. Like by hiding your light, you're this huge light for other people, right? Like this is you're this sun for other people, and you're like hiding it away. So it's almost like the world's just plunged into darkness without you around. Which sounds really extreme, but like, for some people, right, like you could be that significant. You could really make a huge difference to someone's life if you have the courage to just like get over these insecurities. And I don't mean that in a dismissive way. I don't mean that in like, pile 3, like what is wrong with you? Like just get over it already. Like you should just be over your insecurities. Like, just forget about it, like I get it. Like I had many insecurities about starting this channel myself for a long time, and it takes quite a bit of courage, hence why this video is all about leaping forward in courage. We recognize, your guides recognize, that it requires a lot of courage to show yourself, to kind of take your arms down and be like, here I am in all my glory, like here I am just being my true self, like bosom out, like tummy out. Like some of you might be into belly dancing or ballet dancing, but belly dancing is what I'm getting with these kind of dances with the kind of sparkly belt. So it might be that you want to try something like belly dancing, but you haven't had the confidence to do it, or you were shamed or something like that by someone. But I feel like this is like just other people's opinions that you've then internalized, and it's really important to like let that go. And like, you are this vessel. You've been chosen as this vessel to bring through this divine wisdom. I'm just getting something about this mermaid. Yeah, I feel like this is like you have the ability to kind of like dive into the deep and like get those kind of like treasure in the bottom of the ocean, the treasures from like the ocean floor, the little like pearls of wisdom is what I'm getting. I'm seeing like Is it like, oh my gosh, is it like an oyster shell? I'm going to show my ignorance here. I'm only half here when I'm channeling, so I can't even think what exactly it is. But the pearl, that's really embarrassing. The pearl that that like it's like a pearl of wisdom that you're able to like dive deep and get, and it's like you have all these pearls now that you're meant to share, and you're hiding yourself away. You're like, no, don't look at me. Like, I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want people to see my body, or I don't want people to see my face, because this person is faceless. So maybe you don't want to be seen on camera. In which case, like, that's cool. Like, I've done like one video on my channel, I think, where my face is in it, but all the rest of them, I'm just hands. Hello. So like, you could just show what you're comfortable with for now. And then like over time, maybe then you could show your face if you're more comfortable, or like, it depends on what it is you're being called to do, of course. Like, that's for this kind of thing, but like maybe for certain types of content that you want to put out, it makes more sense to be seen. Like, for example, if you're wanting to do like dancing videos, it might be a bit awkward to like not be in the video, for example, if that's something you're feeling called to do. Or something that really does involve like maybe like yoga teaching for some of you, something that's using the body. And like you're kind of like, you don't want people to see your body, so it's sort of it's going to be different for all of you, but like take it as it resonates in terms of like whatever it is you're trying to hide. Like you need to work on releasing that and releasing the blocks and the layers of like where that's come from. And Amaratsu is saying like, no more hiding. They're drawing my attention again to labradorite. So labradorite crystal could be really, really useful for you to go through that transformation and like connect with that part of yourself that does want to be seen, that does want to shine, that does want to be bigger in the world. Because yeah, it's just this wisdom that you've been able to glean from various life situations, you're meant to bring that to light. Like, you're meant to bring that out in the world. Like, you are divinely guided and you are a divine guide. You can see with this person, she's got like a staff that she's holding, like she's like a guide, right? Like, kind of like a like a walking guide or something like that. And the staff has got a third eye at the top. Like, so you're very intuitive, Pile 3. You've got a lot of intuitive wisdom. Again, wisdom that you're meant to share. You're meant to be a guide for others. And there's the number 11 on here, which means like alignment. That is an alignment for you to do that. And also there are going to be opportunities for you to do this. So with that, not all wanderers are lost, like an opportunity. Maybe some of you have tried something like this before. Maybe you have had some negativity or judgment or haters or trolls or something come your way and it's made you hide again. And this card is saying like, not all is lost, like, clear the way, like get rid of that energy, let it go. And there's going to be a new opportunity. There's going to be new luck to bring this guidance out there. Maybe it's in a slightly different form, or maybe you might need to adjust or put up some boundaries around like how you do that. And I'm just noticing there's some sun coming through the window on the desk at the moment. So, which is beautiful because Amaterasu is a sun goddess. She's all about how like she hid away in the sun. She's a Shinto Japanese goddess, and it's in the myth and the legend, it's all about how she hid and the sun like went away and everyone was like, no, like we can't grow all the crops and like, there's no light and it's just really sad. And they had to go and like really work really hard to convince her to come out. And so with the sun here, it's like, yeah, there's this warmth and this beautiful bright energy that you're meant to step into, that's both waiting for you to embrace, but also is waiting to shine on you as well. It's like you are going to receive this warmth back from others, I feel like, too, from this guidance that you're being guided to give. Yeah, I feel like that's all the messages I have for the oracle part of your reading. Let's go into the tarot portion now. So I'm going to clear these away and then stick around because there's also a for those of you that like Alana Fairchild, I've got a crystal mandala oracle to finish on with a healing process for you. So okay, so to begin with, we've got the Fool. Yes. I love this energy, how her arms are like raised up in the air and she's ready to like take that leap of faith into the unknown. There's a real calling for you to do that, to just step out, like get out of your comfort zone and like step out into this future. So that is really beautiful energy. It's difficult because, like, you know, with the full energy, you've got to really trust in the unknown, right? There's no ground for her to step onto. She's just about to, like, you know, kind of like a baby witch, like take off on her broom, so to speak, like, as in symbolically take off on that spiritual journey, follow that spiritual path of, like, you don't really know where it's going to go, but you're just going to trust and you're going to, like, do it in joy. So that's really beautiful energy. We've also got Page of Wands. Yeah, so I feel like you are going on a bit of a journey. You are moving towards something that you're more passionate about. We've got the sacral chakra represented here with the color orange, which is all about, like, creativity and expression in terms of like expressing your creative ideas. And also your sensuality, your sexuality, your like inner fire, your inner passions. So there's this waking up of that. It's still in a like small form at the moment with the page energy. You're not quite in the queen energy, but it's there. There's a desire to at least tap into that, like, joyful energy, that passionate energy, and see where it's going to lead you. We've got this little orange cat here being like, come this way, and this little page is like, really, should I follow you? I'm not really sure where you're going to take me, but, like, maybe I'll try and follow this little passion or this hobby and see where it goes. So that's really beautiful energy. What else? We have got Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this is saying, like, this, if you take the leap of faith, follow your passion, follow your dream, follow where it's calling you, you will be successful in the material realm. So for those of you that are worried about, like, maybe your finances or the income that you might get from something like this, I feel like the fact that she's got a crown, but with a, hope you can see that there, a crescent moon at the top of the crown. It's like, yeah, you are going to be queen at, like, all things intuitive, like receiving intuitive guidance, and it's going to lead to this treasure chest of, like, financial abundance or abundance in all forms, whatever form you need. But Pentacles is all to do with that earth energy. It's like stability, security, all that type of thing. So, like, that is coming for you if you trust in that, like, that creative pull. It's really important to take that leap of faith, get out of your comfort zone, follow your passions, and you will be rewarded. We have also got Nine of Wands. Yeah, so I definitely feel like this is kind of coming back to some of the earlier cards. Where are we? Around, like, yeah, letting them go. This is this sort of battle energy where you've had to, like, defend yourself. Again, maybe there were some people who might have judged you or something like that, or might have hurt you in some way, or just misunderstood you, and you've felt this need to kind of always be, like, defending yourself, or, like, defending your position, or always being in battle with people, always, like, trying to make yourself understood. And there's this, like, with the 9 energy, it's kind of like you've still got some fight in you. You've still got that little bit of energy that is there. It's not quite the very end of the fight yet. You've not been fully defeated. There's still some energy in you that is able to, like, beat off all the competition, if you like. Not that it's really about having a competition with people, but just, like, you know, you don't have to be defeated. Like, you can stand your own ground. You can come out and be, like, your authentic self. Be big, be bold. Like, and not worry about what other people are going to throw at you. You're strong enough to handle it. That's what I'm getting. It's like you've still got enough fire in you. You've still got enough fight in you. You've still got enough boldness in you to defend off any, like, haters or any, like, you know, and see these, like, fiery wands. Like, people tried to throw this at you, and, like, where are they? Like, they're not in you. They're on the ground. Like, you know, what kind of a insult or what kind of a whatever was that? Like, it didn't really do anything to you. Like, you know, you've got a wee bandage around your head, so maybe, sure, you've been a little bit bruised perhaps by some comments that people have made, or things that people might have said when you were younger, or, like, more recently if you have tried to start something, but, like, these are just you know, they're not on fire. These are, like, what's the word when something's, like, you know, they're almost out. They weren't very strong things. And I think that's what, you know, like, for those of you that are worried about being judged, like, say you want to put a channel out, or put a podcast out, for example, or put some content out there, and you're worrying about people sending you, you know, like, negative comments or something. or judgments or whatever. It's like they're not going to land in you. Like you can choose to just let them fall, right? Like they aren't a real threat. They're not going to catch fire or anything. They're just like these little tiny wee, it's like wafts of smoke. It's kind of like people think that they're being really effective when they're sending that kind of like constructive criticism, but like really it's not, it's not helpful, and it doesn't, like, you don't have to take it on. Basically, you don't have to like let it pierce you, kind of thing. You can just drop it to the ground. Like, I feel like that's the message of this card. It's like you're strong enough to defend off any of these misguided people, is what I'm getting. We have also got justice. Yeah, exactly. Like you, I love this off the back of Nine of Wands. It's like, you're going to get justice. Like, these people can't, you know, like beat you forever, kind of thing. It's like you're going to get the rewards, especially with Queen of Pentacles there. You're going to get the rewards you deserve. You're going to get the justice you deserve. If you have been really mistreated, or misjudged or misunderstood, or negative comments made, it's like there is going to be some kind of justice. It's like the what I'm getting is kind of karmic justice, if you like. It'll sort itself out, in the sense that these people feel miserable all the time, so they just project their misery outward, and they're just going to get 3 times that back, right? And all that lovely energy and guidance that you're putting out, you're going to get 3 times that back. So like justice will prevail. So like those people that hurt you or wronged you or did something, to try and keep you down or attack you or stop your guidance from getting out there in some way, like they are going to meet their karmic justice. Like justice will be served. Do not worry. And it's not for you to have to like make that happen. Like you don't need to kind of like school these people or anything. Like the universe will just take care of them. Like karma will just take care of that energy. Like they will meet their just rewards for putting that energy out there. So do not worry. And last but not least, oh, beautiful, we've got the Empress. So it's like, yeah, I feel like some of you, if you're being called to really create this like, I guess like it's like an empire, but not in the traditional sense of like, kind of say domineering emperor who looks after, like who sort of takes power and kind of, rules in this quite masculine way. This is very like, it's very maternal, receptive energy. We've got this pregnant woman on this card. So it's like, I feel like you're kind of birthing something new. You're maybe birthing a new business or a new way of being, or almost like just rebirthing yourself. But it could be that you're birthing a specific project here. Maybe you are starting something new, a new channel, like I said, for some of you, where you're providing guidance. Maybe some of you are going along the path of like studying to be a guidance counselor. I'm getting a few different things through. So just take whatever resonates. You'll know whatever it is you're feeling, called towards jumping out of your comfort zone to do, right? Like whatever you feel is like, oh my gosh, this is a big leap outside my comfort zone. That's what you're being asked to leap forward with. Because you're going to create this new like life for yourself effectively, that you're going to be very committed to. With the dog here, I feel like it's that loyalty energy, it's that committed energy, it's that very solid energy that, yeah, this is going to be like the next long-term period of your life, if you like, where you're presiding over this project, or over this like, yeah, creation, this birth. Maybe some of you are becoming mothers, but I feel like it's more like symbolic, like not literal mothers in terms of, I mean, some of you might be giving birth to an actual baby, in which case congratulations, but I feel like it's more like you're symbolically giving birth, and that you're giving birth to a new way of living, a new project, a new business, a new channel, a new podcast, something like that. Something where you're putting something out in the world, something where you're being a guide for others in some way, or just, yeah, like birthing yourself as this guide, as this beautiful Empress energy, like where you're very nurturing and maternal and like giving to people, very nourishing for people. Maybe some of you are like into cooking or starting like a food business or something like that. I'm seeing with all the kind of apples and fruit that's here. But yeah, some of you might be gardeners as well. But there's that it's that very feminine, nourishing energy. And again, this doesn't matter how you identify, this is just energy. We all have this within us, but you're shifting towards an energy of being very in your feminine energy and presiding over something with that very feminine energy, where you're receiving intuitive downloads or intuitive guidance and giving that out to people, giving that wisdom out. So yeah, that is really beautiful energy. These two queens here, the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. I love this for you. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, pile 3, let's finish up with this is your Crystal Mandala card, and we have got Read the Energy, Ascended Master Merlin, and Mystic Merlinite. Yeah, so I'm going to read the guidance from the book, but this is very much all about essentially what I was speaking of with being a guide for others. It's like you are able to read the room, you are able to read the energy, you are able to read like cards. Maybe some of you want to be readers, or you are a reader already, so welcome if you're a fellow reader. Hello. So pleased to have you here. Let's have a look at, pleased to have you all here, but it's just always nice to meet fellow readers as well. Let's read the Ascended Master Merlin message from the beautiful Alana Fairchild. So I'm going to hold this up because these cards have like crystal activations in them. They're really powerful, so you can absorb the energy from this card while I read. So we bring you the blessing of reading the energy. We affirm that you have the ability to read energy accurately, and we encourage you to apply your gifts. You don't have to be in control of the inflow of divine information. When a message or insight comes to you naturally, this is best. Simply being open and receptive as you intend to read the energy of the person, place, or situation at hand is enough. Whether you have been reading energetically for years or are just beginning your journey in interpreting energetic information, we are here to assist you in becoming confident and trusting in your perceptive abilities. Yeah, I'm getting with the perceptive part. Many of you might be INFP, because we did speak of, when I read the Amaterasu message, about you being a very intuitive soul, very perceptive, and very you have many feelings and you need to take time out to process those feelings. So some of you, if you're not already familiar with the 16 personalities, you might want to look up INFP. Anyway, sorry to get distracted. Let's carry on. This oracle comes to you with a message that your perceptive abilities are a key part of your life purpose and divine life's work. Yep, exactly. Your work, Queen of Pentacles. Developing, relying upon, or honoring what you sense energetically is helpful for your life journey, as it assists you in making good choices, and is helpful for others who can benefit from your ability to see what they may not as yet be able to consciously recognize. When you share your perception from a place of unconditional love, non-judgment, and genuine compassion, your reflections can help others gain awareness and insight, which they can then use to empower themselves, overcome fear, and move more wholly into love. This is benefit to all. This is of benefit to all. When this oracle comes to you, it is being suggested that you learn to read between the lines. This means listening for the truth behind the words that others use. It means to look for the truth in actions. It also means to be open to what you feel or sense or somehow just know, even if it doesn't seem to match appearances, perhaps especially then. If you want more information about a situation, person, or decision you need to make or recently made to know the best way to go when faced with various options, then this oracle brings you guidance. The oracle says that the information you need is right before you in the energetic field. Trust yourself, tune in. You can find out what you need by reading the energy. Okay, it's quite a long message, so I'm just going to pick out the bits I'm guided to. So remember that sometimes the choice is to wait until you feel inwardly moved and inspired to act. Then you ask yourself how each choice feels. Go through your options one at a time. What feels good? What feels fearful? What feels like it gives rise to anxiety? What feels like it has pull to it? What is drawing your energy forward, and what would diminish your energy, putting you down? Plants don't need logical understanding to be able to reach for the light. It is an instinct. You have the same natural instinct to be attracted to the light, to what will nurture and nourish you, to the best choices for you. When intellectual reasoning and logic is not giving you the certainty you need, you can tap into the instinctive intuition within you and source wisdom instead. Yeah, exactly. That is all about that. Whoops, where did I put your card? Here it is, this one, divine guidance. I am divinely guided. That's a good affirmation for you to use, actually, to be able to do this. So this is what you can access when you read the energy. Da, 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 da. Okay, so you're also being asked to apply this talent for reading energy to yourself to learn how to more skillfully meet your needs. The more you are able to care for yourself, the more spirit can ask of you, the more you can give, and the more you can receive. To set up on your life journey requires that you go deeper into mastery of self-care. This may require more attention for you than others may need. The spiritual journey brings much joy, but asks a lot of body, mind, and soul to grow and transform. Those of you who have grown a lot on your path already would know that evolution can be very demanding. As you tap into the complexity and wonder of your being, you'll notice you have many and varied needs for rest, for light, for time to hibernate in solitude, for sleep, for staying out late and socializing, for fun and lightness of spirit, and for depth and meaning. Yeah, I said about the depth and meaning with that wisdom card, and also with the vessel card. I feel like this is a lot to do with like ensuring also that you take care of your vessel. You do all the self-care and the body work. So maybe doing things like yoga and so forth can be really useful to bring the light into your body as you are a vessel for divine guidance. So yeah, just to kind of affirm that message in. So you'll need an outlet for your creative energy. Yep. That's exactly this Page of Wands. We spoke about creativity following that creative pull. Very important. So for your mental energy, for your physical energy, and your spiritual energy. If one of those energetic flows feels blocked, you won't feel good. As you learn to get to know your own needs and what suits you and what doesn't suit you so well, you'll be increasing your ability to read your own energy in a refined way, as well as learning how to better heal and restore yourself on a regular basis. This empowers you to be a more attentive friend, partner, healer, manager, parent, guide, and so on, as well as a better caretaker of you. Okay, so there's a healing process here, which I'll hold up to the camera, and you can take a screenshot if you so wish to do this process in your own time. Okay, so hopefully that is clear enough, and I'll go to the next page. Hold on. It's not terribly light. I hope you can see that okay. Just get the camera to focus. There we go. Okay, my loves, I'm going to leave your reading there. I hope that resonated for you and it provided some clarity and guidance. And don't forget to leave a comment below. I always love to hear from you and see if this resonated for you. Don't forget to hit the like button, so it just tells the YouTube algorithm to send this video around, and it helps my little baby channel to grow. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you today. All my love, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye.